you, Senator Taylor. This is incredible to look across the room and see how many people are here, see how many college Democrats from all over the Wisconsin are here. It's sincerely inspiring to see you all here and to be in your presence. Thank you for coming. My name is Joe Hastroder, as Linda said, and I'm the Membership and Outreach Director for the College Democrats at UWM. And I'm also the Development Director for the College Democrats of Wisconsin. It is my responsibility to develop new chapters across the state and to recruit new members to our campus right here on campus. And I don't know if any of you have taken a good look around the room, but if you haven't, please do so now. And what you realize is what I'm realizing right now, is how amazing it is to know that we're all in this room because we care about our country, the Democratic Party, or the outcome of the 2008 presidential election. And what is even more exciting and more exhilarating than that is to know that there are not just young people in this room, but across the state and the country that are working hard to making sure that the next president of the United States of America is a Democrat. The man that I'm about to introduce is working hard to make sure that happens. His mission is to make sure that the next president of the United States of America is a Democrat. And he's going to put the meaning back into the phrase, mission accomplished. He is a true leader in Democratic politics, which has been demonstrated during his 5 terms as governor of Vermont, during his 2004 presidential bid, and now as chairman of the Democratic National Committee. He knows how to get the job done, and he knows how to get young people excited about it. His innovative, grassroots, 50-state strategy is not only putting Democratic leaders across every state in the country, but it is giving us a jump start to ensure victory next November. This next election is most likely going to be the most important election of our lives, because it is our future and our generation with the most at stake. And we can and will determine the outcome of the 2008 presidential election, which is why it is so vitally important that we all know and that we all spread the word that what we do matters and that we have the power and the influence to reshape the destiny of our country. And we all need to know how great it feels to contribute to a cause so much larger than ourselves, and how triumphant it is to hear the voices of change echo across America, and how miraculous it is to see those changes unfolding before our very eyes. Therefore, we must ask ourselves the question now, are we ready to reshape the destiny of our country?
Yeah.
I ask you, are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready for change? Yeah. Are you ready to lead? Are you ready to be the voice of America? Are you ready to show America our vision for the future? Are you ready to take back the White House? Ladies and gentlemen, the man that's going to help lead us there, the chairman of the Democratic National Committee, Howard Dean.
Ready after all that. Thank you very, very much. You know, in this state, you have the second highest, or maybe the first highest, we're not sure. So you're the top 2 states for turnout for those under 30. That's pretty extraordinary. And let me remind you before we get going, in the state of Wisconsin, you have same-day registration. So you can show up at the polls with your student ID and vote, and you ought to do it. Because if you really can change, this is going to be a close state. It's always a close state. And in 2004, turnout among voters under 30 years old was up 20%. And 56% of under 30-year-old voters voted for John Kerry, and 44% voted for George Bush. In 2006, turnout for young voters was up 24% over 2002. And 61% of voters under 30 voted for a Democratic candidate for Congress, and 39% voted for the Republicans. If you don't think you make a difference, you will decide who the next president of the United States is if you turn out, and you can do it in Wisconsin, because if the election is really close, and I suspect it will be, the person who wins Wisconsin is going to have a pretty good leg up in a swing state on becoming the next president. So it is a big deal that you get out and vote. And by the way, you ought to start on this February 19th by getting out and voting for local officials like Lena, because that makes a big difference too. And getting out and knocking on those doors is what's going to do the trick. So thank you. Thank you for electing Jim Doyle again, because we know what Republicans do to Wisconsin. They don't do good things, and having a Democratic governor is really important. And in this next election, we'd like you to help all over the state, electing just 3 more additional members to the State House of Representatives, so we can have a Democratic governor, Democratic Senate, and Democratic House, and put Wisconsin back on the path away from the big financial problems that were left to us by Republicans, and away from some of the right-wing social agenda that's been foisted on us by George W. Bush. We need your help, and it can be done, and you can do it, especially in Wisconsin. Let me also... When I got to the DNC, we were a party that basically was active in about 30 states, and a party that was increasingly reducing our scope of election interest and not expanding it. In a little less than 3 years, we basically changed what this party is about. We're no longer a top-down party, we're a bottom-up party. We believe that in order to win the presidency, you've got to win the assembly here in Wisconsin, because that campaign that goes out and goes door to door for members who are closest to their constituents is the campaign that gets energizes voters to vote for the presidential election. In the 2007 elections, we beat a Republican governor in Kentucky. We were able to beat the Republican senators in Mississippi. We now have a Democratic Senate back in Mississippi. We took over the state Senate in Virginia. Now, these are not traditionally Democratic states, but they haven't been for a long time. So if you are willing to go out and knock on doors any place, then you can win any place. I think it's 72 counties in Wisconsin, is that right? Yeah. So we're not talking about a strategy of it's all Milwaukee and Madison. We need to be in 72 counties in Wisconsin knocking on doors. Because if you can turn some of those counties where 25% of the folks who turn out are Democrat into a county where 35% of the folks are going to win Democratic seats, that is a big difference, and it makes a difference everywhere in Wisconsin. And what happens in Wisconsin is going to make a big difference in terms of who the next president of the United States is. So we've got a lot of work to do. And this is going to be a close election. The Republicans can't run the country, but they still know how to win elections. This is going to be a close, tough election. And we know that they may not be competent, again, running the country, but we also know that if we don't work hard, we're not going to win this next election. We had better win the next election, because we need to restore the moral authority and the moral leadership of America and the rest of the world. We're not going to have the kind of world we need, and we can't have that with a Republican president, because they have squandered the moral currency of America. We're going to change that.
Who is an accountant?